Howdy, readers. This is Jason's voice, and you're watching Chapter and Verse. And we're back today with another two-shelf tour. Now, I have figured out a way to get you guys the top shelf of our first fiction bookcase that I was unable to do with the previous two-shelf tour. And so we're going to start with shelf number 1 and move down to shelf number 4. So, anyway, this is the top shelf of our first fiction bookcase. And I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but this bookcase was built by my father. I was 19 years old, I think, 18 or 19 years old. And, my dad was trained as a carpenter, and he spent quite some time making this bookcase from scratch. This real wood, there's nothing particle board about this. This bookcase is the real deal. It's the kind of thing that will last a lifetime. And the one book that I really want to highlight on this shelf, let me move this here, is this one here. And this is Never Come Morning by Nelson Algren. Okay. Now, Nelson Algren is most famous for The Man with the Golden Arm, which was made into a well-known movie, I think with Frank Sinatra. Don't quote me on that. But you'll see introduction by Kurt Vonnegut. I know many of you are huge Vonnegut fans. Never Come Morning was first put on my radar by one of our regulars at the Barnes & Noble where we worked in Montana. This was his favorite book. And so I ordered it in, I bought it, and read it on his recommendation. And it is breathtaking. It is also really, really dark. If you're looking for something to lift your spirits, this is not the book. It's about a young Polish-American boxer in Chicago in the early to mid 20th century who is unable to step up and protect and defend the people that he loves. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. But like I said, this is sad as hell. So anyway, that's Never Come Morning, Nelson Algren. So I'll pop this back here. Got an empty space right here where Little Women goes, Louisa May Alcott, because that's what I'm reading at the moment. And then the last thing I'll show you on this shelf is this little teeny tiny, let's see if we can get it in there. This little teeny tiny Christmas Carol by Dickens. And if we look, there we are. So yeah, it's just a little teeny tiny book. And let's see if I can even tell. I don't even think I can tell when this was published. But yeah, it's the book itself, but I mean, just old as hell. Worn out, and I think it's, I don't know if this is leather or what this is, but anyway, little Christmas Carol. And this here is the fourth shelf of fiction on our first fiction bookcase. And so I'm going to start with talking to you about The Song of the Lark by Willa Cather. So Cather is best known for two books, My Antonia and O Pioneers. The Song of the Lark is, in my view, at least as good a book as O Pioneers, if not better. My Antonia kind of stands on its own. That's a book that's going to be read as long as books are read, period. But The Song of the Lark is set, if memory serves, in Colorado. So it's set in Colorado, and it is about a Scandinavian-American opera singer, a young woman who grows up in this little teeny tiny town and who dreams of being an opera singer. And it's just absolutely wonderful. There's a great doctor, just a real wonderful, gentle kind of country doctor in this book, who I thought about making the physician on my pirate ship in the pirate ship book tag, but decided to go for Victor Frankenstein instead. So anyway, I'll just read the back of this to you. Conflating her own childhood experiences with those of a celebrated Wagnerian soprano of her day, Willa Cather here introduces Tia Kronberg, a Scandinavian-American singer who rises from a one-story town in Colorado to the Metropolitan Opera House, Along the way, she learns her own capacity for the rigorous demands of artistic excellence and how few of her colleagues are willing to sacrifice ordinary vanities for exacting professional standards. Exhausted and depressed by the mediocrity around her, she seeks respite in the southwestern desert, where she has the epiphany that will transform her vision and her art. Characteristically, Cather uses the western landscape in the Song of the Lark both to reflect her heroine's inner life and to fire her imagination. So that is the Song of the Lark. So the last thing that I want to talk about from this shelf is Jim Crace's Quarantine. And this was a finalist for the Booker Prize the year it was published. And this is a kind of novel reimagining of Christ's 40 Days in the Desert. It is brilliant. It's harrowing. It's also quite violent for some reason, and I'm not sure 100% why, but Jim Crace is very, very interested in portraying cruelty to animals. And I think what he's on about with that is really kind of exploring the depravity in human beings. People often say that a measure of a person's moral goodness is how they treat animals. And so if you're looking to really kind of delve into the darkness that human beings are capable of, that's a powerful way to do it on the page. The furnace just kicked on, so I will raise my voice a little bit. But anyway, Quarantine by Jim Crace. It's a wonderful, wonderful novel. And that is the fourth shelf on the bookcase here. I'll be back with another 2-shelf tour very soon.